Are we on? Hey y'all, good evening, or good day, or whatever time it is, wherever you are. I hope all is well. I want to do a little talk tonight about, a couple of things, and one of them will be sort of preparing for our big transit ahead. But I also there's a couple other things on my mind that the angels were like pressing on me to talk about, and I'm trying to just stay in the moment with it, so I haven't really even thought about it since then, but I'm going to pull it in right now. Okay, yeah, all right. So, I hope you're having a great week. Everything seems like it's really like, we're just at the end, you know? It's the end, the snake. It's just like trying to hold on to any toxicity that's there, you know, is still barking or whatever, you know? So, but I don't know about you, but I'm not listening. I'm just like, whatever, you know what? I'm not listening to you. I'm moving forward and trying to stay in that, you know, keep lifting myself up into those higher vibrations. I think I'm gonna sneeze. Okay. Okay, excuse me. So I'm just keep trying to lift up into those higher vibrations where it's like ignoring. I'm just like, nope, not doing that, not going there, not gonna argue about this or argue about that, or going to fear about things, you know, like, oh God, how is this gonna happen? How's this gonna go down? Nope. Because there's just so much support, and I can feel the support. I hope that everybody can feel that. I've been hearing from a few people that like, they just feel like the veil is very thin, like you can feel the other side, really. I mean, I can't, but wait, let me just kind of turn this around a little bit. Okay. So, it's just like my thoughts right now, which are all kind of weird. That's how this week feels. It's like I really don't, you know, I don't know what to focus on. I had an injury. I kind of like, I lifted something and like hurt a rib or something, and so then I'm trying to heal, and you know, just it's hard to stay really focused on anything, but that's okay. It's just temporary right now. But here's what I first want to talk about tonight, and this was brought up by a friend of mine, and it's not really a big deal, but I have had it brought up a couple times, so here's another one of my, I'm going to tell stuff about me, so I'm going to spill the tea. And this is about forgiveness, and how I feel about it, and how maybe I'm misconstrued for being someone that's very, very forgiving, which I'm sure I am, you know, but this changed in me a while back. It's not that long ago, you know, 6 months to a year ago, where I learned, I started learning a lot of lessons from the angels, and then as I got into a situation, or I got, let's see, the universe kind of orchestrated some things for me, and I was really, I didn't understand what was going on, not very cooperative, but anyways, but I've learned a lot of new things, and they've kind of stuck with me, and I'm glad, because I didn't really think that it would. But the first thing I want to say about forgiveness, it's not that I'm just like such a forgiving person, like fucking Mother Teresa or something, because I'm not. It's just there's nothing to forgive. I don't think like that anymore. There is nothing. What am I, God? I'm not here to. I don't judge, right? I don't judge. I just don't. And so, as I saw it more like that, I realized like, and I actually have kind of been doing this my whole life, and it's served me well. And that is that I don't let's see. I don't like to hold on to things. That's what it is. I'm not a big holder on, like I'm going to hold a grudge, or I'm going to hold, you said you would do this, or or whatever, or having all these expectations and stuff, because when I do that, I just automatically, I don't feel free, I'm not free. It's such a stifling energy for me to hold on to things. So I never was like that to begin with. I just would be like, oh, I forgot about that. It's like, because I'm living in the moment. I'm in the moment. And if I'm in the moment, I can't be also in a week ago and a week before that, and I'll remember all this stuff. And, I know people who remember every detail of every slight that ever happened to them, and, where they were and what happened and all that. And I mean, and I'm not, I'm not judging them either, but I can't relate to that, because I just don't see things like that anymore. I'm certainly not a doormat, and I don't, allow any behavior that if it feels offensive to me, I'll just speak up or whatever, certainly. But as far as like having all these expectations with people, I mean, I didn't raise my son like that either. And he turned out very well. He graduated, he went to college, he's an engineer, he was very successful. And, but I didn't hold him, I lived in the moment with him too. It was like, well, what do you want to do? And, I was present with him. I was present with love for him. I was present to take him anywhere and do things. I was present. And he has, he's grown into a fine young person. So I already was using that technique sort of in my life, that I'm not going to drag up the past and everything. So, but then I learned even further in this past year about unconditional love, and how it's just, unconditional love means that there's no condition. That doesn't mean there's only one or two conditions. No, there's none. There's absolutely no condition that I'm going to unlove you, I'm going to not like you, or whatever. Now, my expectations may change with someone based on whatever, whatever their behavior or whatever. My expectations might change, but my love doesn't change. It's like, I just love people, and that's taken me to the subject of what I want to really talk about. And that is that when I see people, okay, when I see you, or if I'm around anybody, when I'm looking at you, I see like I call it now a prototype, or I used to call it prototype. What do I call it now? I don't know. But anyways, I see something else. I see how beautiful you are, no matter who you are. Even if you're someone I dislike, I still see that beauty. I see and if how close you match to that is very interesting to me. I find all that stuff really interesting. Are people living close to what they are, their potential is, or is it far away from it? But when I see someone, that's why I don't remember sometimes, like, oh, what did they wear, and what are their eyes and all that, because I'm seeing, oh my God, you're stunning. Look at you. Look at all that beauty. And I can see their beauty, and then but I also can see their pain. And so when I say see, it's a sense, I know it, I feel it. I do actually see the prototype. And I feel like it's similar to what I think the techniques that Jesus used when he would, heal people. It's like, if you see them as healed, they're healed, only I don't, I haven't the ability to, or at least yet, to work that quickly and fast or whatever. But I have been using those abilities for a long time for helping people to transform, and not really knowing that's what it was. I mean, I was a manager of a weight loss center for a number of years, and that I found, that's where I really saw a lot of the results, because again, I just would, you know, see someone and meet with them, and I could immediately see how beautiful they were, and how, you know, or how unhappy, and I would visualize them into losing their weight. Like our center, my center had really high stats, and I know that it had a lot to do with that, with just helping people to see. So if I see you as beautiful, you feel that. This is why also, I mean, all my life, people told me privately, and, you know, just pulled me off to the side or whatever, or on the phone. Oh, whenever I'm around you, I feel, you know, I like to be around you. People like to be around me, and they've told me. I felt so good after I left your house the other day and got all enthused about this or that. And it's not me, but it's just the mirror, is because I'm not looking at them critically, okay? I'm not thinking, you know, the whole time someone's in my presence, they're in the presence of love, because I'm loving them and I'm seeing how beautiful they are, and I'm thinking that, okay? And so that's very different than what the world does to us, which is, you know, a lot of the world looks at you critically, and you look at you critically. We look at ourselves critically. Oh God, you know, you're overweight, or you're this or that, or you're, you know, oh my God. I remember my mother used to, like, she would always be freaking out about, like, getting lines and getting aging and stuff like that. And from a very young age, I remember thinking, don't say that. I must have remembered these techniques and stuff from, you know, wherever I just came from, whatever realm I was flying in from, because I remember thinking, don't say that, stop saying that. You know, she constantly talk about, you know, this is happening, that's happening, oh, I'm getting older. And I was like, no, you don't need to get old, you know. But anyways, you know, that's that critical, you know, critical thinking, and looking at yourself critically, looking at others. I mean, think about if you're around people, and, you know, the whole time they're talking to you, you're sizing them up and down, and this is wrong, that's wrong, and whatever. I mean, you can do that all you want, but number one, they're not going to really feel that great after they leave you. And number two, you just put that out. So where do you think that goes? I mean, it just comes right back to you. Everything you put out there comes back. So why wouldn't you want to put out beautiful, wonderful things, like, you are so beautiful, right? And I'm not bullshitting anybody when I see the beauty in them. I really see it. Now, some are more stunning than others, for sure. And I'm in awe, you know, I'm in awe of beauty. And it fascinates me. And I allow myself to accept the beauty in myself too. I allow myself to look in the mirror and say, oh, I love how beautiful you look today. You know, I can see the beauty. I don't see it like, you know, 3D kind of beauty, but just, am I feeling beautiful? Am I feeling the love, you know? Is it glowing? Is it coming out of me? Am I going to make a lot of people feel really good today? Or am I a bitch today, you know, or whatever? Because if I am, I'm not going out and spreading that all around. So anyways, my whole thing that I'm getting to here is about how you see people, and you know, their reaction to you. And it ties in also with this idea of forgiving people, or like being mad at them for things and stuff. And I know, especially people who have a lot of Scorpio and stuff, they live for that. They like, you know, it's like, you did this, and I'm going to get back at all of you. And that's, I mean, I don't have any judgment about it. It's just, it's not me. I don't do that. I just don't do that. Every time I see you, it's new. It's a new thing. Now, it's not like, oh, I don't remember any fucking thing, you know. I remember, you know, but I also know that I want the same, like, that's what God does with me. Like, because over and over and over, I mess up. Over and over and over, I get things and then I don't get it. And I make choices that are not great. But am I forgiven? Yes, every time. And that amazes me. That's the most amazing part of spiritual life to me, that keeps me in spiritual life, is that I'm completely and totally washed clean every time, right? So why would I not give that to my fellow brothers and sisters? Why would I not let you be brand new today, a new person with a new, whatever? Why? When it's given to me, I'm not going to do it, right? Now, that doesn't mean that if I get the intuition to bring up something, maybe I'll bring up something, but it won't be with anger or with, like, ew. But I'm not against or have not, discussed things from the past. I'm all in for that. I've done that tons of times, but I'm not angry. I'm not, because I don't want that living in me. I don't want to be holding on to anger about anyone. And I don't want anyone to feel that way about me. So if I don't want anyone to be that way about me, then I need to be dishing out the same thing, okay? And I know that, sometimes some people, okay, depending on your personality and stuff, may think, oh, come on, that's so, who lives like that, or whatever. Well, a lot of people do, who lives with all that anger all the time, all pissed off, or, having to bring up your little Rolodex to every person you meet and talk to. Wait, what did they say to me last time? Or what did they do? Or, or whatever. I mean, who cares, Just meet people new. Let them be born again each time. If there's a feeling like you want to go into something in the past and discuss, then do it. Do it for hours. Do it as much as you want. But do it with love, I sound so lectury right now. Just now I was like, oh my God, I don't mean that as a lecture. I just mean it as like a zeal. It's my passion, is to remind everyone to be forgiving to each other. And it really, I don't see why it's such a huge big deal that I do that, because we should all be it's not that hard. It really isn't. It will lighten you up, lighten your load, lighten your mind, free you up to be more, full of ideas and spirit, and let everything in. Everything can come in if you let out the old, right? And I also understand that it's not always that easy, especially if it's a very, something very painful that hurt you. By all means, you need to process that. You need to alchemize it. You need to talk to God about it. And then if you feel like you need to talk to the person about it, then by all means do that. Definitely do that. Whatever it takes to love and forgive your own self. And if what's holding you back is, well, I forgive myself because I know I didn't really, maybe, I wasn't in the right mind at that time, or I didn't know certain things, but but A, B, and C people, they're not going to forgive me. Well, you know what? That's their problem. It's not your problem what people think. It's not your problem. If 100 people are mad at you, or 10,000, oh well, they'll move on, right? But how do you feel about you, So that's where I do a lot of work with forgiveness for myself, because and that's why I practice it with people, because I'm always forgiven. I'm given the chance to help understand why I do certain things, or I make wrong choices, I say stupid things, or whatever. It never ends, I'm still in the process always of it. But I also, I can kind of, I guess I laugh at myself a lot, and it's not fake. It's really, because it really is kind of funny if you think about it. Just things that sometimes we don't get and we do over and over and over, you know, it's like, when are you going to get that? But there's nobody standing there going, hey, you know, get your shit together or whatever, you know? I mean, we might have had parents like that, so you think that God is like that, or there's some hierarchy that's out there, you know, watching you and taking, you know, notes on everything you do. They're not. It's just you. It's only you. I was gonna say you and God, but it's just, that's one. So, you know, just love yourself. That's all I know how to say. Love yourself, because trust me, you're so beautiful. I know. I see all of you, you know, and you're beautiful. So don't think otherwise. And if anyone makes you feel otherwise, fuck them, and, you know, get the fuck away from them, or tune them out, or whatever. Because anything, if someone is bringing you down or making you feel, you know, I don't know, bully or tease you, or I don't know, I don't like that shit, you know? If someone's like, there is no people around me like that, because I won't put up with that, you know, and not like I'm all, you know, but I just eliminate, so, and people get vetted for their vibe, okay? But I understand that, because I mean, my whole life, of course, I have fucking narcissists around me all the time, and bullies, and the universe has sent me, some real prizes to alchemize, and they're horrible when they come in. When they go out, they're, you know, they're beautiful. But so I've been around it my whole life. I understand it, and I also know that there's a certain relationship between these kind of narcissistic assholes and then empaths, or people of the light, or whatever. There's a symbiotic relationship, that constant attraction between these two types. And because me being an empath, I mean, my whole practically past is, you know, narcissistic, you know, just whatever, you know what I'm talking about. Selfish asshole people like that. Okay. But since we're moving out of that's part of the 3D world, and it's almost like 2D, like the world where we're living in polarity, where I'm this, you're that, and then you know, I learn from you, you learn from me, and then we, you know, we both learn a lesson and we go on our way. All that, those karmic, you know, relationships that we had in the past, that's how they were. And so you were with somebody very different, probably, you know, a horrible person or whatever. Or you were the horrible person. I don't know which way. But it's not like that anymore. You don't need to, none of us need to, I'm not doing that. We don't need to do that anymore. You need to be with, well, I'm not going to tell anybody who they need to be with, but you're allowed to be with somebody who is everything you ever wanted and knocks your socks off, and, you know, you're crazy in love with, or whatever. You can be happy as you want. You can be as happy as you want now. You don't have to learn in that way anymore. But you know, there's tons of residual right now. Mostly it is residual. There's a few people that are, you know, we're trying to move up and into this new level, and only because of the strong Aquarian stuff in my chart, I've already been seeing it for years. And so, you know, I'm talking about things that are yet to come, that are evolving, that are in the process of birthing right now. But for me, they're real. They're happening in real time. I believe in them. I believe in all that, and I'm just letting you know. Speak out what you want to come back to you. It's very, very important. Way more important than you think. Just watch your words. And so many of you already are like that. Very wise. You know, you don't say a lot, and you don't need to, because don't say it unless it's going to be something that you want to manifest or come back to you, or is from wisdom, or is kind, or whatever. Like, you don't need to be in combative with people and all. Let them go combat with somebody else. They can go be combative somewhere else. You don't need to do that. And we don't need to learn from polarity anymore, really. You have your own teacher, and it's within you. You already know that. We know that. We have our own teachers. I don't need you to be my teacher, okay? People are coming together now in union and in partnerships for one reason only, and that is love. Beautiful love. Love and, happiness and prosperity and play and all the great things. That's the only reason. You don't need to be in relationships with people that are going to teach you, something or whatever by how they are. So, no, you don't need that anymore. But they're going to be around, they're wandering around, and eventually these people will have no choice but to move up into the new vibration, because they'll find themselves very alone because the mass consciousness, is already over 50%. The mass consciousness is going to be moving upward into a whole different vibration, and either come with us or don't, or don't. So just start really realizing that what you say has a lot of magic and power. And everybody I'm talking to probably already totally knows that, and is like, oh God, Kelly, we already know that. I'm just saying it again. So your words, and then your thoughts, your vision, when you're around people, even if you think, well, they don't know what I'm thinking, because somebody, you're talking to somebody and you're sizing them up, or you're thinking, oh, what a bore, or whatever, or something critical. And I did this for a long time. I would have, in the middle of being very mean or short with people, in my mind, I would just switch it, like, just kidding, love you. And, just really working on switching my mind to where now it just automatically, I don't have to try, because I automatically just see how beautiful people are. Your mind can get retrained like that. So that's why there's nothing to forgive. Did I even make sense with all that? But there is nothing to forgive, because nobody did anything like to me or whatever that I'm the big judge that gets to forgive or not forgive, or dole out, dish out revenge or whatever, or hold it in for the right moment and be a bitch or something. That doesn't feel good in me. Like it's like sickness, illness. I don't want all that in me. Ugh, when I'm mad, and trust me, I get mad. I just, right in the moment, whoosh, it's like my face will turn red. I get pissed, and it all comes out right then, boom. And then once it's gone, I don't even remember, like maybe the next day it's like, what? Because I'm over it. I get over it. That's just me though. And maybe that's weird. I don't know. But I think that that's part of our prototype, is to just not hang on to everything. I think that's part of this dense energy down here, where everything's so heavy, So, when you hang on to things, it's heavy. And I like to be light. Like, I just want to play and run and sing and dance and all that. And you can't do all that if you're just weighed down with all this stuff. But and that isn't to discount, what's the word? Whatever, I guess that's the right word. Or to like put down when you're down or grieving or something like that, because I've been in that place too a lot. And when you're in that place, if I'm with somebody who's grieving or down or whatever, I meet them right there and I stay with them. I don't try to, hey, why don't you just think of all the great things in your life? No, don't do that to people. I go right there with them and I stay with them in their grief. And we should all do that too. But judging each other, we don't need to do that. Unless you want to get judged, then just don't judge people. That's my little lecture on, I guess it's on judgment, really. Maybe that's all I'll talk about tonight. I feel kind of like, yeah, spaced out. That was quite a rant there. Didn't really mean to rant, but I hope you got it in the spirit that it was intended, which was just to help you get to know me a little better too, of why sometimes I'm just misconstrued, you know. It's like, why is she like that? And why, I don't know, I hear things, people ask me things, and I'm like, what? Why do you think that? And I realize, wow, I come off kind of weird to people, and so I like to explain why I think the way I think. I'm not saying it's for everyone or that you need to think that way. I'm just explaining who I am and why I'm like what? Could I talk? Why I am the way that I am. So that's all I'm going to say for tonight. Hopefully you can enjoy the next few days until we get to the 17th and things really start getting, we'll feel much, much more. The big word is supported, a lot of support. And that's going to shift, I think, next week. But until then, I wish you good luck, good fortune. I wish you, support for anything you're going through. I wish it for all of us, because we're all, it's just, we're living in two worlds, we're going back and forth. It's not easy. I understand. So, love you. Talk to you later. Bye.